In early 2018, researchers in Rome unveiled the 3D carbon copy of what Jesus looked like, based on measurements of the Shroud of Turin. The Shroud of Turin is a 14-foot linen cloth that is believed to have wrapped the body of Jesus Christ after his crucifixion. The statue is a three-dimensional representation in actual size of the man of the shroud, created following the precise measurements taken from the cloth. Professor Fanti has studied the shroud for the last 20 years and led the research team that created the 3D model of Jesus. Based off the model, they are able to tell he was nearly 5 feet 11 inches tall, whereas the average height at the time was around 5 feet 5 inches tall. Researchers believe that they finally have the precise image of what Jesus looked like. And based on the marks on the Shroud of Turin, Jesus received a total of at least 600 blows. The sculpture of his tortured body reflects these wounds. Professor Fanti said, "I counted 370 wounds without taking into account the wounds on his sides, which the shroud does not show because it only enveloped the back and the front of the body. We can therefore hypothesize a total of at least 600 blows." Professor Fanti goes on to say, "We have studied for years the image left by the body on the sheet, using the most sophisticated 3D technologies, and the statue is the final result." The University of Padua and Padua Hospital worked in collaboration with sculptor Sergio Rodella to create the life-size image. Now, I read about 20 different articles on this topic, hoping to read about how they made the actual 3D copy itself. What technique or machine did they use? Did they sculpt it by hand, or did they use some kind of 3D printer? But not one article or video covers that information. However, I found another video from July 2017 of a 3D statue made out of bronze, and the statue itself is, from what I can tell from the video, identical to the 3D carbon copy statue, as his pose and marks on the body look the same. They explain the process in making the statue in the About section on that video, and this is what they said. The shroud is encoded with 3D information that is found from the spaces between the highest and lowest points of the body and its distance from the cloth. Recently, a VP8 analyzer that gives topographical information about the Moon and Mars terrain was used on the cloth. A 3D holographic image was formed of the face and body. An artist then used the exact dimensions of the 3D shroud image to create a bronze replica of the physical form of Jesus Christ. Now, I know there is some debate over whether the Shroud of Turin is authentic or not. I'm not here to debate that. I'm just reporting on a story about a 3D model made from the Shroud of Turin, which I thought was a unique enough story to report on.
For centuries, the Shroud of Turin has become one of the most mysterious and controversial pieces of cloth on the face of the planet. For some, it's a hoax, or it's an ordinary person who came to their demise in some brutal way. But to others, it represents something truly remarkable. And now, for the first time, experts have spent years recreating what they believe to be the mystery man under the shroud. The mysterious Shroud of Turin is something that has baffled scientists for years and been a source of great wonder to faithful all over the world. And now, here at the Cathedral of Salamanca in Spain, a new exhibition has been launched that aims to portray, like never before, the body that was wrapped in that shroud. Inside the cathedral, the exhibition is on display, showing various paintings and items to illustrate the last days of Jesus' life. Álvaro Blanco is a Spanish art expert and the man behind the entire project.
What makes this exhibition special is that after 14 years investigating the Holy Shroud, we have reached a point where it's no longer a debate of science, but more a debate of reality. We know that the shroud was wrapped around a body of a man, and now we have reproduced that man.
Much work has been done throughout the centuries to try and confirm or disprove the authenticity of the actual Shroud of Turin, but never before has such painstaking work been put into recreating a life-sized model of the man who would have been under it.
For the first time in history, the image we have created on the shroud lacks the influence of an artistic movement. It is not Romanesque, it is not Gothic, it is not Michelangelo, it is not Renaissance, no. This is reality, it's hyper-realism.
At the end of the exhibition is what the organisers are calling the hyper-realistic figure of the mystery man. And in front of the waiting press and local dignitaries, the figure is unveiled to the world. The figure is an extraordinary piece of work, looking incredibly lifelike. The hyper-realistic sculpture, which is made of latex, silicone and real human hair, has been based on data collected from the Shroud of Turin.
La piel se hunde, la piel, el vello es humano.
The skin sinks. The hair is human. It weighs 75 kilos. It behaves like a person. It is real, right? I think this has been a big risk because we didn't manage to create successfully the image of the man under that shroud.
Even the head has wounds and blood, the suggestion being that they're from the crown of thorns. The exhibition is not claiming that this is the figure of Jesus Christ, or not. It wants people to visit and view it and come to their own conclusion of who the mystery man is. But for its creator, Álvaro Blanco, after working on the piece for so long, the answer to him is obvious.
Perhaps the answer is as simple as we have been told, that we are looking at the sacrifice of a person made in an act of love, in an act of kindness, and in which he left that holy shroud.
Of Jesus Christ, who was wrapped in the Shroud of Turin. In Salamanca, Spain, Colin Flynn for EWTN News in Depth.